Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
From the Community Free Clinic, we have with us Jeremy Cantner, you are the director, and Lisa Goetz. And what is your title? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Development Director.
Development Director. Walk us through the services of the clinic. Where are you and what do you offer?
So the Community Free Clinic is located at 249 Mill Street, and we also have our mental health program at 235 Mill Street. So we actually have kind of two locations, but they're side by side.
Hagerstown.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And Hagerstown, apologies. So our services, we have pretty much a standard primary care practice, along with volunteer specialties, pulmonology, podiatry, a variety of different specialties that come in. We offer behavioral health services, and we are currently just started a grant for community outreach. So, we'll have some staff going out into the community and trying to outreach to some people who aren't currently connected with healthcare and trying to get them, to live a healthier life.
And who do you serve? Anybody in Washington County?
So we serve any uninsured Washington County resident. Under the outreach program, we can help, even if you are insured, we will help you find the right people to work with. So anybody can come in and get some form of a service, but as far as their direct medical care, you'd have to be uninsured and live in Washington County.
And you do medical services along with mental health services as well.
Yes.
What kind of mental health services do you offer?
So we provide individual therapy, couples therapy, group psychoeducational, art therapy. We have things like that, and then we have a psychiatric nurse practitioner who manages all of our prescribing and medication monitoring programs.
You may have already answered this. I think you did. How are you funded?
We are funded about 75% in grants, about 15 to 18% from fundraising, and the rest comes from endowments.
Wow. How many people do you think you're currently serving at the facility?
Probably in the neighborhood of 500.
Wow. Wow.
And does that stretch you pretty thin right now?
Absolutely. At times it can, but we make do with what we have and provide the best services that a lot of people can find.
And I saw that you also have a teen health service.
Yep. We have Youth Overcoming Life Obstacles, which is a sexual health style program. So, if someone needs to be on birth control, or if someone needs an STI test or treatment for that STI, we're there, and that's for anybody 13 to 24, whether you're insured or not. You still need to be a Washington County resident. That's funded through the county, but we're able to provide them services as well.
How long have you been there?
I was on the board of directors before I became an employee. I've been an employee for about 6 years. Probably around eight years or so I've been involved directly with the clinic.
And the clinic's been around for how long?
So we're getting ready. We're very excited to be celebrating our 35th year
nice.
In Washington County. Got a big gala coming up and in February, which we'll probably talk a little bit more about in a bit. But that's kind of where that sets.
I think that's a really wonderful thing that you guys are doing, because I can imagine there are people that are uninsured and need these services and don't know where to turn, kind of feel hopeless at some point. So it's nice that you're there to provide that support.
Oh, absolutely. And, one of the interesting tidbits to me, we have about 150,000 people in Washington County, roughly, and that equivalates to almost 11,000 that are uninsured, according to the census numbers. Wow. So, and we're only seeing a very small piece of that. So, we recognize that the need is much greater, and we want to be able to reach those people and get them the care so they can live happier, healthier lives.
How do you make it compute that you want more people to be made aware of, and if there's 11,000 people, 500 is, obviously almost at capacity. It can be stressful and put a strain on. So if you take in more patients and service more of the community, does that open you up to more potential funding? How does that work?
Yes.
Because you can see
Absolutely.
the qualm with it.
Exactly. And when we say capacity, we always have room for people.
Sure.
We are very fortunate with volunteer docs in the area that come and give time, and will give more time if the need's present. So, you know, currently on the behavioral health side, like I say, they're pretty open, and they don't see nearly that number of total people that are in that program. But for us, getting those increased numbers allow us better opportunities through grants. You know, one of the things grants need is data measurements. Right. So the more that we're seeing, the more, you know, blood pressures we're taking, the more A1Cs that we're doing, we're able to kind of show how the treatment has helped make people healthier. That gets us more money. Recently, we were awarded through the CHRC a $1.5 million grant over 5 years, which is that community outreach piece that I mentioned earlier, for those things. And obviously, as those numbers come back, that gives us a nice, strong argument for further grants in that area.
Can we dive in a little bit more of the medical services that you offer? I was looking at your website, and it looks like there's a plethora of services available. Could you take us through some of them?
Sure. I mean, say we do just, you know, the standard physicals, sick visits, you know, acute injuries. There are some things that obviously we can't treat. We don't have x-ray machines or technicians for those types of things. But, you know, ongoing treatment for diabetes, any chronic disease management programs. Like I say, we're able to really, we're a full service doctor's office.
In reality, Lisa, it seems like that there's not necessarily a reason that anyone in Washington County who is uninsured, if they have an issue with their health, would have a justifiable reason to say, well, I'm not going to go anywhere because I don't have insurance. Right. There's a place to go.
There is a place to go, and making that awareness is very huge, because Washington County doesn't seem that big, but it is, and there's a lot of people who are not familiar with the clinic, and that's one of the things that we are doing. One of the things I've been trying to do is reach out and let everybody know. We're here. There's not a lot of things in life that are free.
Sure.
Community free clinic is.
As
and
in the name.
Everyone deserves health care.
Sure.
Everyone should get primary health care.
Absolutely.
And we have that.
And the other question that I would have is, because I haven't heard this mentioned, and I did an interview with someone from the Community Free Clinic a couple years ago. When it comes to transportation, that may be a barrier that some people have. Do you provide/arrange? Do you offer tips or you know, have a program for that?
We do have resources for that, and we actually partner with the Community Action Council locally, and we have a grant also through CHRC that provides medical transports for patients. So we're able to help get them in that program set up and help them get to their appointments, whether they're at the clinic or even if we have to refer someone outside for something, we are able to help them get transportation. And one of the other pieces I just want to hit on, you know, we are truly a free clinic. We even have a medication dispensary where we're able to obtain medications through some programs, so our patients are able to get the vast majority of their medicine for absolutely free.
What about emergent care? I obviously, someone's in a car accident, they're not going to tell the ambulance driver, hey, take me to the community-free clinic. But what, you know, where do you walk up to the line as far as those types of things go? Is it, I look at like maybe urgent care. I have a cough. Is that kind of the same thing?
Absolutely. And obviously when you get to levels of more trauma-based kind of injuries or more acute breaks, things of that nature, we don't have the ability to kind of treat all of those things. But you know, for the most part, any normal thing that you go to your doctor's office or the majority of things you go to urgent care, you could come see us. And we're still bound by some of the same things. You know, if their blood pressure's through the roof, we may have to send them to the emergency room because we don't have the equipment.
Where they won't be denied care.
Exactly.
Right.
If someone came into the clinic and maybe had a condition or something that was happening that you guys weren't able to help them with, would you assist that person in finding a place to go that would help them financially and meet them where they are?
We do our absolute best with that. We have many local providers that do offer some sliding scales for some of our patients, or reduced because they come from us, and some actually give their services for free. So we do our absolute best, you know, but we definitely have people that are assigned to help that patient connect to be healthy.
Like a patient advocate.
Absolutely. We have patient advocate. We also have outreach coordinator and case manager that all their entire role is to make sure that our patients or potential patients and people are getting the treatment that they need.
Do you offer anything involving dental?
We don't. We are in some talks to try to figure out how to get that in, and because nothing's finalized, I won't go too much into that, but we're hopeful in the fall that maybe we'll be able to offer some dental services to our patients. So hopefully some of those partnerships we're working on come together.
And people put, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but people put off their oral health. It's so expensive. They let a crack go, and then before you know it, there's an infection, and then it gets into your bloodstream.
I'm that person.
Are you?
I am. Like going to the dentist.
I am too. I had a crack in my tooth, let it go. I just paid for a crown a couple weeks ago. So I'm this. It's nice that you guys are.
Right.
You know, maybe
we're working in that, and like I say, that would be a totally free service as well. That was part of the in the original talks is that we maintain our free status. I find that to be one of the most important aspects for the clinic.
Sure.
It's hard, and the vast majority of our patients, they're working a job that either doesn't offer, they can't afford, or they're working multiple jobs, and so it's sometimes can be hard.
2 or 3 part-time jobs, you're not getting the benefits at any one of them,
Right.
although you're working the hours combined to have it. Lisa, let me ask you this question: when it comes to and I totally lost my train of thought, just being completely real. It'll come back to me, so go ahead.
That's fine.
But I just totally lost that.
expand on what he
Please,
said.
please.
A lot of people feel like they don't understand what you qualify for.
Sure.
It does not matter. There are so many different people. You have college students coming off of their parents' insurance.
Right.
And they're not in their job yet. They
So
haven't
transition.
found a job.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
they're
even think
transitional.
about that.
And they need health care. We can provide that. You have single moms who you either pay for the health care offered by your employer, or you pay to take care of getting your kids the clothes they need.
Or the
And I'd be
electric
real-
bill that
The
month.
electric bill, exactly.
Sure.
Or the food you get. So I'm not going to buy this insurance but you got to be healthy. And if you're healthy, you can go to work to bring home the money to take care of your family.
We kind of have it backward
So,
in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So understanding the clients or the patients that we see, the people that we service, it's broad.
Sure.
And it could be you, me, anybody. The situation is if you don't have health insurance, you're uninsured.
And
We'll
you
take
know-
care of
I know, I got it back.
And you never know where life takes you. One day you're in
Right.
you have a job, you're secure. The next day you
What-
let go, and oh
And
my gosh,
now
what am
what
I
are you
going to
gonna
do?
And that's another important piece because people often will change jobs and they don't have insurance
For
for
like 90 days.
right, and we're there. And some people, it might even be less, 2 weeks. We'll still get you in. We'll still help you stay healthy until you can get there.
The price of Cobra is even
Ridiculous.
more. It's like, yeah, it's here, but here's how much it's going to cost you now.
Right.
What I was going to ask was, I know you have a network of doctors and providers who give up their time, and that's wonderful. And you obviously have some that keep office hours within the physical facility that you have. Does that network extend out to, say, some doctors or providers may say, if folks come to our office, we have this block of time if you'd like to send them to us? Does any of that care exist?
Yes, absolutely. It doesn't necessarily go into blocks of time, but our patient advocate reaches out to the doctor's office and they schedule an appointment, and then we communicate that to the patient, and then the patient will go to their office and.
So it's much like you hear lawyers do pro bono cases. You have a network of providers that do that.
And like I say, we can run into the situation where they don't offer that, so we make sure all of our patients are aware that there are possibilities that the care outside of our physical location, we don't control that.
Gotcha.
We do the best that we can, and like I say, we're very fortunate. The providers in Washington County are really supportive of the clinic.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for what you do in the community. It's needed and it's wonderful. And thank you for talking to us today on Let's Talk Tri-State. Love to have you come back and speak more about the gala that's in February.
Absolutely.
And we can dive into that a little more next time if that sounds good with you guys.
Sounds great.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
guys.
Yes,
Merry
thank
Christmas.
you.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.